Hello everyone, it's Retro Jojo. I'm back finally with another video. Sorry for the delays, but it was due to Hurricane Helene. We actually lost power for about 18 days, and I know there's people that in the hurricane and with Hurricane Milton, they lost a lot more than just power, but I'm glad I have power back. We both are, and I just thought I'd jump back into it and talk about what I've been doing lately, and other than working and spending time with my wife, but some other things that I've been doing as far as gaming and stuff. So we can jump right into it and jump right into this. So while I was without power, my parents actually got power back, and I was able to play this game from start to finish. It's a really good game. I actually bought it a couple of years ago, and I never really finished it. I started it, I'd stopped playing it, started again, the whole 9 yards. I just didn't really get into it and stick with it, I guess you could say. And that's Doom from 2016. It's a very good game. It has beautiful graphics because it's newer game, not brand new or anything. It's put out by ID and Bethesda. It's not brand new or anything, but it does have really great graphics, and the music in the game really delivers. It's kind of like a metal type, especially during like the fighting segments, and the carnage. It certainly delivers, that feeling of non-stop action and just carnage, I guess, is the best way to that's the best word I can use for this game. Is just, it's non-stop. But it's basically like the first game that came out, I believe it was the 80s, but with of course updated graphics, a more fleshed out story. I mean, it had a story to it, but it was kind of more or less lost in translation in the original, because again, it wasn't all about that. It was just kind of about running and gunning and kind of just taking out enemies. But in this one, it does have a story. You're trying to stop this, I cannot remember her name, but you're trying to stop her from basically using the UAC's things, all the sources they've went into, basically taking resources from hell to make people's lives easier, is what the original creator is what he wanted to do. But then she started using it for her own benefit and kind of made a deal with the devil, so to speak. And that's what the whole game's about. You're Doom guy, and he kind of gives you free reign and permission, and to come back and take these guys out, all these demons that she's let loose. And then she unleashes the whole thing, and your whole mission in the game is to stop her from doing that, and getting a direct portal from their world to our world. Very kind of scary stuff if you think about it. And the first one's on Mars. There is another one I plan to talk about in just a second. I started playing it. I haven't really played that much of the second one, but yeah, this one, oh yeah, here's the back cover art as well. It says, "Fight like HELL." The Union Aerospace Corporation's facility on Mars is overwhelmed by demons. Only one person stands between their world and ours, As the Doom Marine, you're hired to do one thing: kill them all. So I like this game for what it is. Like I said, I love games where you fight evil, or where you're the bad guy. I like both sides. But at the same time, I love Devil May Cry. Kind of getting a little off topic, but I like stuff like this. And it's a good first-person shooter. So if you've not played Doom 2016 and finished it, I recommend it. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing, like I said, I started playing this one, Doom Eternal. I can't say too much about it. It says raise and then HEL, L again, because of It's the theme that they're going for because it's all about fighting demons. Hell's armies have invaded Earth. Become the Slayer in an epic single-player campaign to conquer demons across dimensions and stop the final destruction of humanity. The only thing they fear is you. Now, I've heard that this is the second one, Doom Eternal. I love that cover art. The first one's real simple. You know, you got Doom Guy. But the second one, it's like a battle sequence. Almost reminds me a little bit of kind of a like a D&D art style. Really cool. But Doom Eternal, just started playing it. Watch reviews of it on YouTube and watch people talk about it and compare the two and things like that. And I'm looking forward to finishing it. I do, from what I played, I haven't played a lot of it, like I said, but from what I played, I do kind of like the 2016 one a little more, but that's because I favor Doom 3. It's another game I've got to play through again and talk about on this channel, but that's the first Doom game I actually really played, unless you count like playing it on like an iPad or something like that. I played versions of Doom. It was supposed to be Doom, you know, those apps that were released years and years and years ago when the first iPad came out. I'm that old, yes. First iPad, first iPod, stuff like that. So to kind of, that just kind of, I got a little tongue tied. That kind of summarizes why I would prefer the 2016 one, but I haven't played enough of Doom Eternal, the second one, so I can't really judge it. I just thought I'd throw it in there and show the cover art and, you know, just kind of give my thoughts. So far, I think it's a good game. It improves a little bit on some of the stuff that 2016 Doom did, but at the same time, it sort of feels like you run out of ammo to, you know, like in the 2016 one and in Doom 3, you had an infinite ammo weapon. In Doom Eternal, you don't. I don't know. I feel like that, you know, yeah, you get to use the chainsaw more maybe to get more ammo and stuff. It's not as reserved as in the 2016 one, and it's definitely not in the Doom 3 from the original. It was on original Xbox. But at the same time, it's all about what you prefer. And that's what I prefer. I like that, you know, it's not too hard of a game, but it's not easy, but it's not super difficult. I like that middle ground when I'm playing something, even if it's like E-rated all the way up to an M-rated game. It doesn't really matter as long as it's got a good difficulty, but it's not. A lot of people compare it and have my same preference to like Dark Souls. Some people like Dark Souls. I've never played it, but I've seen people play it and get really frustrated with it, and it's not really, probably wouldn't be my thing, but who knows, I might try it one day and try playing it, see what happens. So we'll move on to the next thing. Well, we'll start with this actually. I was going to show that first, but I think we'll show this off first. So this is a little game that I played because a friend told me about it, and I had never played anything, still haven't really played anything like this. And that's Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't know if you can see if get the light off of it a little. There we go, picking up that cool artwork logo on the 64 cartridge. So yes, Conker's Bad Fur Day is a 3D action platformer, I guess you could call it. It's like a platformer. It looks like a cutesy platformer until you actually play the game itself. And then you realize that this game has crude humor. It has language, but most of it is censored. Because again, this came out, I believe it was 2001, right at the end of the N64's life cycle, right before the GameCube. It was released. And it was delayed a ton. There was a game before it called Conker's Pocket Tales that came out before it. Like I said, I believe it was on the Game Boy Color. And it was a cutesy kind of, you know, get Barry and Conker's birthday cake back from the evil acorn. It was just kind of cutesy and kind of cheesy and kind of, you know, I guess cliche is what they would say. Kind of like but it was a kids game. And then I guess it was Nintendo. Somebody said something to them, the creators at Rare, because Rare put that game out, and a lot of other great games on the N64. I believe I've talked about a couple of them, how fond I am of them, especially 007 GoldenEye. One of my favorite games. A lot of good memories with it, and so that's just kind of the standard. They're like the golden standard for the N64, other than what Nintendo put out, and it really ticked them off that they said that it was just another cutesy platformer. So they made it their mission to make it as, adult themed, I guess, as they could at the time. No, it does not have a ton of, stuff that's gonna really super de-duper, offend people nowadays. But at the same time, it might. It's all about your preference or what you can and can't handle, I suppose. The reason I like it so much is it has a lot of pop culture references in it. And I mean a lot. Like, I recently watched a video, and it was like 34 minutes long, of this guy comparing like movie footage from things in pop culture to what's in Conker's Bad Fur Day. And like I said, that's like 34 minutes of the game is just these references and these cutscenes. And it is about a drunken squirrel. Conker does get intoxicated. That's something that myself, I don't do. Again, it's a game. I used to. I'll admit that. But it's it's still a great game, even because it's not real. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not real. You can't get, and I mean, I guess you could if that's what you want to do, but you can't really get wasted. Take some medicine, like a cure-all, and then go right back and do it again, and then take a cure-all, and then do. It's a video game. They don't have those especially back then, they didn't have the technology to make those limitations not there for the way it looks. I mean, if you really want to be technical, GTA 6, you have that, or 5, I mean, not 6, excuse me. 5, you have that freedom to do just about anything. So it just is all about what you like. But for me, I like the other aspects of it, and I don't pay attention to that aspect, as much as maybe I used to. And I've learned from it, and it's just a fun game. I like it. I like what it portrays, it's relatable, because if you haven't played it, it's a spoiler. He goes the wrong way going home, goes to the nasty side instead of the nice side. And that's why everything happens. He made a bad decision, so all this other stuff starts happening, and all these characters are rude and crude and just nasty people, And then at the end, he loses everything, and all he wanted was to be able to go home. And he gets to be king, but he doesn't want to be king. He just wants to go home and be with his girlfriend, but she's dead in the game. So he's lost everything. And that's a stark, resemblance or reminder in real life to not take things for granted and to cherish things, no matter who's in, comes in your way, or no matter what obstacles you face, not to give up, because, and that's what I took from it. It has so many good, parodies. There's even parodies of Saving Private Ryan, Star Wars. There's so many, like Dracula, and it's Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's references to that. Sorry, everybody. Ooh, something got up my nose. Excuse me. But yeah, there's a lot of pop culture references, and there's a lot of gore in the game too. It has lots and lots of gore. It's violent. It's just, you have to play. It's almost like an Alice in Wonderland, and they ended up making Alice in Wonderland that was rated Madness Returns, and there was one before it. That's what this is, but with Conker, and this was way before that. It feels like a violent Alice in Wonderland. It's trippy, it's crazy, it's pop culture references, just stuff all in your face all at one time. It's got so many just memorable moments where I laughed, and it's a fun game. I enjoyed it. The multiplayer, I could take or leave it. It's fun, don't get me wrong. It has a very GoldenEye feel to it, you know, like GoldenEye 007 for the 64. But, you know, if you took that away, I would still probably play the story mode. But, there again, they didn't stop there. So Rare was going to, after Microsoft bought the rights to Rare, it was bought in its entirety by Microsoft Corporation. They were going to release one called Conker's Other Bad Day on the GameCube. But I suppose Nintendo didn't want to put that out because they weren't very proud of Bad Fur Day for some of the things that were in it, right? So they said they weren't going to put it out. They told them, you know, get with Microsoft, I guess. Well, they ended up not putting out Conker's Other Bad Day, but they did put this out. And this was actually the first version of it, that I actually played. And that's Conker Live and Reload. I don't know if it's going to pick that up. There's a little light glare on it. There we go. Maybe you can see it. And here's the back. Got Conker. You got Barry down there, his girlfriend. They put a lot of emphasis on the live because, again, this is the original Xbox and it was only on Xbox. It's an Xbox exclusive game, and it looks beautiful. They did censor it a little bit more. At first, it was supposed to be kind of a live and uncut instead of reloaded, but they went with the Xbox Live here. So you could play like Xbox Live with this game with the new graphics and things like that. And then the reloaded part is they redid the story and put some new elements in it. Like I said, they took some of it out. It was going to be called Live and Uncut, and everything was going to be uncensored completely. But they ended up kind of scrapping that in some ways. You know, they censored it a little more on this version, added some things. If I had to be honest, this is the version of the actual story that I prefer, the Live and Reloaded version. It just looks better to me aesthetically. I played it a couple of times. I recently just finished the one on the 64, and it looks good. There's a little less censorship, and that's about it. And there's a couple of things that they added, but as far as that goes, there's not much difference really. But I will say that this is the version I prefer, is the Xbox version. First one I played, still love this version, and it's everything in the original game, but better. I think this one's a little better. The multiplayer is not as good. I do like the multiplayer in the Live and Reloaded. I know a lot of people don't, but I tend to like it because it's almost like it has a story itself to tell, and I like that. You know, you finish playing that, you can play it single or co-op. You can have somebody play with you. I don't think Xbox Live is still online enabled anymore for it, but you can still play, you know, with bots and grab a friend, a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and play it, and it's still fun. You know, you could finish the story mode, single player mode, and then jump right into that, and it's like it's telling different parts and segments like in between stuff, so it adds something to it. I like this version of the game, I have to say. And beautiful graphics, by the way, beautiful graphics. It looks great. And of course the music is still intact, if not improved a little bit, so that's always a plus. And then I actually bought a bunch of these off of someone on Facebook. And this is a demo disc, official Xbox Magazine demo disc, Xbox Game Disc, whatever you want to call it, number 39, Holiday 2004. So this was, I believe, Live and Reloaded, the actual game. Let me look right here. I think it says 2005. Yeah, so this was Holiday 2004. They were showing it off, and there's the front art of that. and it's got some other games. And then look at this, Dodgeball, advertisement for Dodgeball. You can watch the trailer on this disc on the Xbox. How cool is that? Pretty neat. It had a playable demo with 7 other games, it says on there, so that's pretty cool. The other games, if you would like to know, are Forza that was a bad one. Forza Motorsport, Star Wars Battlefront, ESPN NHL 2K5 2005, Outlaw Golf 2, Rocky Legends, and an Explosive Hidden demo. So I don't know what that one is. I might have to check that out and see what the hidden demo is. But it also had a version of Conker where you could play some different things and try it out. So that's pretty neat. And then also, these are just some side things that I thought I'd throw in there. Here you have some of the boss characters on this shirt. And you got the cache at the bottom. You got Conker with his little SMG, Uzi, whatever you want to call it. Pretty neat. Got this whole been a while now. Got the Panther King. You got the Boiler, the Experiment, the Barn Boys, the Hay, the Bull, the Dogfish, Panther King, and then you got I think it's Count Batula is his name, and then you have the Money with the cigar in his mouth, and you have Conker there. So it's a really colorful. Oh yeah, and then you have another character in the tag, which is pretty neat. The Great Mighty Pooh is what he's called. And I'm not going to spoil that for anybody that's never seen it, because it's pretty funny. It's like a Disney parody. And then there's this. This is a Totaku figure. I have 2 Totaku figures. The other one's no, I have 3. One's a Blue Eyes White Dragon figure, statue, whatever you want to call it. And the other is a Summon Skull from Yu-Gi-Oh! Got them really cheap. This one, however, was not cheap. This was like 40 or 50 bucks. It came out at the release of, it was a GameStop exclusive, and it came out, this is number 27 too. I didn't even realize that. It's pretty cool. But this came out when they released the Rare Replay. I don't know if anybody of my subscribers or anybody else knows about or has played that, but it has a bunch of different Rareware games on one disc, and Conker's Bad Fur Day got put on that disc for Xbox One, so that's pretty cool. And on the back it has character profile, name Conker, first appearance Conker's Bad Fur Day, year of release 2001, story, once an innocent red squirrel, Conker blossomed into the hungover star of an adventure combining raucous comedy and pop culture parody with language to make your tail stand on end. Also a giant poo monster. Like I said, it's not for everybody, but it has so many references in it to pop culture, and that's why I like to play it. It's not gonna knock your socks off and blow your hair back anymore with the language or the gore, because let's face it, the things that are out and are still coming out now on new consoles are way ahead of, it's from 2001. It's just a fun game to me. I like it. But yeah, so there's Conker there. He's got his 2 SMGs in his hand, got his cigar, and he's got his army helmet on there from the war section where they go to war. You can guess what pop culture reference is in that one. But yeah, I think that's about it. But I've just played a couple of games lately, and I haven't been doing a whole lot else. I will be playing some more stuff that I haven't really played before, and we'll see what happens from there. So until next time, everybody, be safe, and if you can, like this video, comment, let me know what I could do to improve the channel. I am still working on, and subscribe, of course. Um, but I am working. I will say this before I end the video. I forgot to mention this. I am working on trying to get my camera set up and work out some kinks with it and knots. I guess it's a funny way to say it. But get it all figured out, and then we'll go from there. And I'll try to do some, not like live stream, but like, I guess you could call it that. It's kind of like I'll be playing the game. You can see me and my reaction, and then I'll be playing it, and we may do some let's plays with it or something like that. Just something different, kind of spice up the channel. Make it not just about me talking about the game, but me actually playing the game. And if that's something you all would like to see, let me know. And until next time, I'm Richard JoJo, signing off.